George, it's a special day today.
Oh, yeah? How
Yeah.
come?
It's mein Mutter, my mother.
Mon frère? That's
It's
not
her,
right.
it's
I
her
don't think.
birthday today.
Oh!
Yeah. She's actually on holiday.
Where is she? On a cruise?
No, she's in Mallorca, I think.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if she might listen, but just wanted to give a shout out to the legend, the
Mm,
Don of Titchfield. That is Anne Winty.
big time.
Happy
Happy
birthday, Mum.
birthday. Wow. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Get one from the fridge.
Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to see you do is get on stage and whittle a fucking guitar about, you absolute cunt. Welcome to episode 30 of Drum and Drummer.
30.
That's quite a few now, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's more
We've just
than
been
10.
prattling on. Prattling on.
Keep it going. Keep it consistent.
Yeah. If anything else, if nothing else, we're just consistent.
Yeah. I had a friend at school who every single test used to get an E. So the whole class, it'd be A's and B's because this was top level science. He shouldn't have been in the class, bless him. And he got an E every time. And you could see he was upset by it. But he'd always go, well, like through tears, at least I'm consistent. And and we'd all laugh. But I think he was secretly like, fuck, why am I everyone's doing well and I am getting an E every time. But he was consistent.
Well, yeah. And you could put that on his CV.
Exactly.
I got an E, but every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're looking for someone to just consistently do a job to a low standard,
Yeah.
but I'll never dip
I'll never dip.
and I'll never surprise you with something great.
No.
I A-level maths. I did A-level maths for my sins. I quite liked maths at school. And I thought, I'll do maths at A-level.
I didn't know you did A-level maths.
Yeah. Just
Wow.
out of all the other subjects, that was one I thought, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to have a fallback in case the music doesn't work out. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it turns out A-level maths is very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm quite proud of is, so, you had 6 terms over the 2 years. First term, I got an A.
Right.
Sweet, sweet A. Next
Lovely.
term, I got a B.
Yep.
Third term, I got a C.
Yep.
So I averaged out for my AS level, I got a B.
Lovely.
Pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Then I got into music college, and then I didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
So then the next 3 modules in the second year, I got a D, an E, and a U.
Right.
I got the whole set.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Averaged out at a D.
I had a similar thing in college. I can't really even remember what I took, but I just remember I had to get 2 A levels at an E minimum to get into BIM. And first year, I think I failed physics. Don't care about that. But I also did English and music tech. And English I did quite well. And music tech, I got a C or something. And basically I worked out I needed to just not fail to get, it was basically I had to get 40% overall. And I ended up finishing college with, I think, 42% in both. It averaged out 42% and the cutoff was 40. And I was like, oh my God, I literally got into BIM on 2%. But then even crazier than that, when I finished BIM, to get a 2-1, you had to get 60%. And I got 59.6, I think. But they rounded it. No, they did. And they rounded it up every 0.5%. So they rounded mine up to 60. So I went from a 2 to 2. But what was funny is my housemate, she got 59.2% and they rounded up to 59.5. And I was like, that's just fucking awful for her. So yeah, that's it really. That's all I've got to say about that. How you been? You right?
Good, yeah. Quite busy, innit? Entering the busy summer months, lots of gigs, and trying not to get overwhelmed by it all. Because you're always thinking, you got your gig coming up on the weekend, but you're also sorting logistics and set lists and plans for the gig a week ahead and usually 2 weeks ahead. And it's always, it's a different band, it's a slightly different lineup, there's slight little specific things, first answers like that. So you're kind of like keeping your eye 2-3 weeks ahead, and then yet you're still like, but I've still got to do the gig this weekend. And studio is, I'm very thankful, but is pretty busy at the moment. So just kind of navigating this summer of craziness.
I hear you.
Just making sure I've got to keep on top, and just lots going on.
More of these.
More of these, keep shitting these out.
I walk some end cap.
I guess I'm feeling good about a lot of things, and then just a bit meh about other things. And it's just trying to navigate that roller coaster of emotion.
I hear you.
Isn't it?
And it's weird when it dies out, because I would say that's kind of probably where this podcast came from. It's October 2021, and we're like, a bit bored, a bit lifeless, no gigs. Shall we start a podcast? I feel like that was part of it. You go from this is mad, and I don't know if I can cope, and then as soon as it stops, you go, what am I going to do? It's Saturday night. It's not good. But I had quite a busy weekend. I had very lucky to be doing all these different bits and bobs. So I did Saturday. I'll quickly run through Saturday. So I did an acoustic set in Salisbury with friends of ours, and then I know she'll be listening at least. Phoebe and Tom Catamo. Always lovely to do a gig with them. So we did that, and then I had a gig in Exeter with 8 Ball, who are the function band of Dutch Criminal Record. And that gig was great, because I feel like their band they are attract sort of young, mad parties. There's certain bands that attract older, more posh events, but every gig I've done with them seems to be just sort of like a lads' night out. And I will say this, right? I never like to try and just pat myself on the back, but I got a compliment from the bassist that night, who I'd never played with. And he said something that someone else had said to me on a previous gig, a guitarist. He said, like, mate, I feel like really safe with you on drums. And I said, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I just know exactly where every chorus is and where every end of the song is. And I don't really have to worry. He said, sometimes you play with a drummer and you'll go, what is he? I don't even know what's going on. Where am I? And he said, I knew exactly, just lifting the hi-hat to indicate we're going to a chorus now. And I was like, that's my favorite compliment. And I did think, I felt like that when I was playing bass and I played with you, because not to, pat each other on the back, but I was like,
please,
I
pat away, boy.
I feel like I know exactly where we are, and I can just sit back and play the bass because it's comfortable. Whereas sometimes I played with drummers and it's a bit, you feel like,
I had a gig the other day, and we had a male singer played acoustic, and I've known this guy for years, and I know he's really good, but it was his first wedding gig. Not just with us, but playing with a pro level function band. And I knew he'd done his homework, and I sort of said to him, like, on the way up there, I was like, there'll be so many clues I'm giving you as to what's coming next. The change of section, like a section, it's going to start with a crash, but like you're saying as well, you just maybe open the hi-hat slightly as you get towards the chorus, drum fills, things like that, and it'll be obvious when the song's ending. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of our job, and what took me a good few years, years ago, to have that confidence to be like, no, I'm going to not lead the band, but I've got to be that foundation that then everyone sits on. And it's not hard to sort of give those little clues away to people. And it's little drum fills. It's a rallentando at the end of the song, And a lot of that just comes with confidence, I think. And in the early days of my drumming career, I was not confident at all.
But I think
feel like, I'm trying to, no, I'm going to do this. And just little links into sections. It's not rocket science, but that's what he meant. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew the song so well that you're given those little clues. He knows. Oh, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I feel safe that he's
That's
going to
it.
the chorus now.
Yeah.
You've made
exactly.
it obvious with your drumming by doing something musically, like building it up a bit, or bringing it down. He's bringing it up. He's bringing it down.
Yeah. Exactly. And but I was thinking,
and you've got all my drum charts, so
yeah, exactly. And but I was thinking that's I prefer that as a compliment to because it feels like they've actually thought. Sometimes you finish a gig and you say to someone, "Oh, amazing, man." You don't really mean anything by that. I say that to a lot of people, but if you actually go, "Oh my God, that thing you did, that was," if you've actually listened.
Well, I think
it's
it's quite a subtle thing, that, isn't it? What he's brought up there.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, that drum fill was great. It's like, no, you've just provided a proper good foundation there for us to sit on top of. So
exactly. So yeah, it was a lovely gig. So then the next day, I was playing with the actual Dutch Criminal Record, who great
big
band.
up the DCR.
Yeah, great band from around here. They've recorded at your studio a bunch.
Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
And yeah, I've known them for a while. I've played in their function band a fair few times, but I've never played for their actual band. But they were doing, it's called Dot to Dot Festival in Nottingham. And yeah, we had the gig the night before. We didn't get home till 3 or 4 in the morning, and then up again. Bless him, Joe drove the van the whole time. I mean, what a trooper. Because it was one of those things where it was mainly the travel was the whole day. We left at 1. We got to Nottingham for about 5, and then we did a line check at, I think, 7:30, but then we were on at 8. And we were just playing this little pub. I'll be honest, there wasn't that many people there because I think it was almost like the Great Escape or something like that, where there's just loads of venues open.
Yeah.
And you just get a wristband for the weekend and you go around to different ones. And then there's like a main venue.
Camden Rocks, in Portsmouth, Icebreaker, Southsea Fest, RIP, that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's usually a big main venue, and there in Nottingham, it's Rock City. So I think people, and it was quite far from where we were playing. So, but the gig was good. It was just nice to play with them. And I think it's just nice when you do a dep gig, you're kind of just trying to make sure the band.
Yeah,
you get
and that's
okay
depping for an original band, which is a very different ball game to depping for a wedding band or function band.
Yes,
because you're usually going to play songs you've done before. Is this so? Just briefly, I guess was all the songs that you played, were there recorded versions of them that you could learn from?
Yeah, so they sent. I think we did 8 songs because we were only on for half an hour.
That's a classic half-hour set. That
classic half-hour
Swift
set.
8, bosh.
Yeah. And which actually, it felt quick. Like, oh, we're done, are we?
That's it. Yeah, when you do weddings, you're like, oh, fucking hell, I've got another hour of this shit. And you do the original, like, oh, we only need 8 songs.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Cool. So yeah, but I think we did have a rehearsal the Friday before the gig, and there was they just extended the end of one of the songs and extended the intro to another. But other than that, it was just a recorded version. And but it was just great to learn songs that weren't covers. I charted them out, boy. Don't you worry about that. Of course I did. Charted them out, brought the iPad along, and it was just fun. It was just nice to play some fast, punky indie, however you describe them, surf punk. I don't know, punk a thing,
indie punky.
I don't know what I don't know.
I
was
kind of
say
think
surf,
like Vampire Weekendy sort of.
Yeah,
that kind of
high up the neck guitar. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. But it was one of those gigs where it was like, do you know what it was? People always talk about how playing in a band is such a small part is actually the gig, and then the rest of it is being in a van with people for however many hours. And that felt like that exact thing, because after the gig we went and watched this band called Squid at Rock City, and they were very good. And then we got in the van, and I swear we got in the van about 10, and it somehow took us way longer to get back. But we were in this van for 5 hours, and all of us, there was now a bass player in the van as well who had met us there. And it was just great, just chatting shit, and someone was passing an elf bar around, and we felt like elf bar. Have you heard of elf bars?
Elf bars?
Elf bar, yeah.
What do you mean,
So,
elf bar?
Well, they're like
ELF? Like an elf?
Yeah, exactly.
You're
that.
not saying health like a cockney.
No, because I thought someone was trying to say health, but
Who's
no, they're like.
around?
Well, right. So let me tell you the story of this. So can you see this? So this is an elf bar. So they're like the new vapes.
Right. Yeah.
And you can get them in service stations. So I'll tell you this story. He won't mind me telling this. I doubt he'll even listen. So the band, brilliant lads.
Didn't they say his whole name? Say his whole name.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
We'll cut that out. We actually will cut out his name. We'll bleep it. So he's very sort of like straight edge, and he's never smoked anything before, a cigarette or anything. And this was on the first gig of the weekend with 8-Ball, and the bass player that day had an elf bar, and Sam was like, "Oh, let me have a go on that," And he had a few tokes, and he was like, "Oh, I quite like this," And then after about, 10 tokes of this elf bar, he like put his head in his hands and like lay on the floor. He's like, "Oh, my head feels weird." And then the bassist was like, "Oh no, he's going into a nick hole." Another word I hadn't heard of, a nicotine hole.
Yeah.
And so this became like the running joke over that gig. And then the next day about how he couldn't handle this vape. And then so we got to a services somewhere on the way back, and the bass player for Dutch Colonel Records came in and was like, "Hey, I got you a present," and he gave him this elf bar, and he was like, "Oh no, I can't do it again." "Okay, go on then." And then we was just passing it around, and felt like school kids, and they've just stolen a packet of cigarettes from their dad or whatever. But yeah, it was a great gig. It was just just fun to play with someone new, and as you said, depth for an original band, because it's feels different.
Yeah,
but somehow it didn't feel that different, because I think I'd played with them a bunch before in their function band, so it's just like, oh, we're just playing your songs today,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. Good weekend.
Nice.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, we'll take a little break. Yeah, chill out. Go and tell your family you love them, and we'll see you after this. Welcome back. You're here with Georgie Boy
and Benny Boy. Never called you Benny Boy before. Anyone ever call you Benny growing up? Was that ever a nickname?
I think my parents, Benny Boy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like
let's clear this up. 30 episodes in.
Yeah.
But my name is just Ben.
Yeah.
It's not Benjamin.
No.
Just Ben. Christened Ben. Like, I don't believe in God, but, official Ben. My brother, Tom. Just Tom. Tom.
Have we talked about this before? I feel like
we have. Maybe we have.
No,
on it.
maybe not on the podcast. Because I remember. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but my parents just said, "Be quicker filling in forms." So
very true.
There we go. Not that anyone's, but some people do think I might be a Benjamin.
No, because what was the story you told me about when you were in school, and there was a game who could spell their name quickest?
Yeah, and Joanna thought she'd won, but she'd just written Joe. So I called bullshit on that. And then it was retaliated to me. "Oh, but you've just written Ben." Right. Go and get my birth certificate. Let's sort this out.
And they were going, "Oh,
I was claimed
right.
victorious." Yeah, I was victorious, and that was year 2.
Exactly.
Might have been year 1, don't know, but you got to get things right.
Yeah.
That was the start of my journey into the world of admin.
Yeah.
I think.
I thought you were going to say the world of bitterness. No, you listen to me, miss.
Yeah. Joe, wherever you are.
If that is your name. Speaking of that, quickly, I'd when you're in school, and maybe you didn't feel like this, but when you're in reception and things that aren't that scary can seem terrifying. So we had to pick an animal and write facts that you knew about this animal. And I picked giraffe, but I couldn't spell Giraffe. So I tried to write Giraffe and got scared and went, I don't know what to do. And I saw the girl next to me wrote B. She was off. She wrote B. A bee has wings. A bee is yellow and black. A bee stings you, you know? And I was just trying to, and after 10 minutes, the teacher was like, you haven't done it. I'm like, I don't know how to spell giraffe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's weird, isn't it? When you're a kid, nowadays, there can be big, serious things in life. I'm like, that's fine. I don't care, you know? But as a kid, can't spell giraffe.
It sent you into a spiral of manic frenzy and a sort of depressional,
pretty much
kind of panic. Yeah,
like when you haven't finished your lunch and the older boys come to your table and you're like, I'm out of my depth now.
I just used to be
guys were in year 6,
really scared of asking to go to the toilet.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
still am now a little bit.
Yeah, so you've had to.
Now I go to the toilet too often.
Well, you've had to start your own studio just so you don't have to ever ask anymore.
Yeah. If I'm my own boss, then I can just go for a piss whenever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Something I wanted to discuss is, and I don't know how to talk about this in the kindest way. I had a gig on Saturday, a pub gig, and I was playing with.
Okay, so you stooped down to pub level.
Well, right. You can't say that. You took your gig back off me that you'd given me, and then. And now you have the bravery to come at me with words
yes,
like
and you're being paid off for that.
Yeah, well, that is true. Yeah, because this one was.
But you also owe me 60
money.
quid, so.
Well, this is it. I owe you money now.
Well, yeah.
I got way less money than I would have got with your gig that you asked for back. Like by a lot, at least 5 times less. Anyway, we'll cut all this out. So I was playing a gig and there was myself and the singer. I knew the singer, and then she roped in 3 other musicians who were all fairly young. That's all I'll say, because the rest of the story is not good about them. But they're young. I get it. They're new to it, you know. But every single song, they hadn't learned it. And it was meant to be a karaoke gig as well. So the idea being that, you know, the singer wouldn't sing. She'd get other people to sing and then help out on BVs if she needed to. But every single song, they were all jazz students. And I was thinking, is anyone even playing the chords? You know what I mean? I'm going to try not to sound bitter about any of this.
Yeah. I do like the fact you've been trying to be vague. But you narrowed it down to Saturday, a female singer, jazz musicians.
Yeah. I haven't said where though. No. So,
how was your day in Chichester?
Just
they were shit.
It seemed like everyone was playing a different note, and you know the guitarist didn't play chords once. It didn't really feel like he was just, you know, noodling, and the keys player looked terrified. And I get it. He's 18. He hasn't really gigged before, but there was almost this feeling. I was thinking, if I got asked to do a gig, even at 18, I would have learned the songs. But the singer gave them all charts for every single song. And I won't talk about every single song and how badly it went, but I'll hone in on one because it was just, I'm old enough that I don't mind. If I see it all falling apart and it's nothing to do with me, I'm like, fine. It's a pub. Who cares? Not in a I don't care way, but in a sort of, there's nothing I can do. So we did Twist and Shout, and everyone knows Twist and Shout. I assumed everyone knew Twist and Shout. These jazz guys didn't know it. So the general melody of the chords, down, bow, 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 bow. That's all you need to know, right? So they didn't even know that tune. So they all get given charts, and they started playing it almost like, I don't know, halftime, I guess. So rather than down, 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 they were going bow, 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 bow.
Oh dear.
Like, yeah. But I'm playing the drums, dun, dun, ta, ta, dun, dun, or whatever. And the singer, this guy who I think worked behind the bar, he was the first person to get up to sing karaoke. And I didn't know that the band didn't know the song. And he starts singing along. And it was just...
Oh, shake it up, baby, now.
Well, the only way I could describe... It was like Well,
What are you doing? Just having a little sing-song.
He was singing it, but he just kind of zoned out the band. And it was like, I was very aware this is awful. So I start trying to tell the keys player who sat to my left, play it. I didn't know how to say double time. So I just said, play the chords faster, which terrified him. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, double time, go double time. So suddenly he's now doing it correctly. Bow, 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 bow. But then the bassist and the guitarist are still playing the same. So suddenly it's all clashing and it's awful. And this poor barman's just about, shake it up, baby. He's just getting through it, but he's not singing to any chords. He's just singing because he knows the song. Like it's just me and him. Like it would have been better if it was just me and him and there was no other music. But it was like that all evening. And I was just like, I know this is just falling apart. But bless her, the singer who organized it all was literally having to go around to each musician and be like, D, A, G, stay there, so E, and it was just like, this is fucking abysmal. But I spoke to a friend about it day after because he said I was the gig. And we were talking about how sort of lucky we are that we can just turn up and, play songs and with pro musicians and they all sort of know it, you know what I mean? And so when you go to play a pub gig and stoop down, it's like, oh shit, it isn't always the case, Can we soften the blow by discussing deaf musicians or something, just so I didn't sound like a complete...
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of, instances of just people are just shit. They come to a wedding, you get, they get sent to you, you need someone to fill in. And I remember one where it's a decade gig and the guy didn't really know the songs.
Yeah.
Probably knew them better than your pub gig, but, it was like common people, just didn't know the melody. And so I normally do BVs, but then in that bit, I was like, I got to sing the actual melody here.
Yeah.
And the gig was a nightmare anyway.
Yeah.
And then like in the break or afterwards or something, sort of outside and someone came to chat to us and like he wasn't there, but chatted to me and she was like, oh, you guys are okay? And I was like, oh, thanks. She went, singer didn't seem to know what he was doing in Pulp, was it?
Yeah.
Like, oh, God. When it's noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but that gig was a write-off. It pissed it down with rain. A couple of people had fights and it ended us driving off. And we could just see the bride sat on the grass outside in the rain crying. So in all, a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you find a certain level of musician, don't you? And you kind of, don't look down.
No, exactly.
Don't look up. Don't look down.
Yeah. How was your decade gig that you were mentioning?
Yeah, right. Chavvy crowd. Nice, but chavvy, it was kind of outdoors under this sort of metal awning thing on this private sort of farm. It had a stage and a drum riser and
nice.
It was all pretty easy, like easy loading, easy, pretty chill. But we started playing and it was sort of like, there was a wall behind me, but then no walls to the side. So you're kind of like outdoor festival-y style stage. So drums just naturally sound a bit different when you're playing outdoors, but I had my in-ears in and it sounded really good like out front and it sounded good on stage. Sometimes it sounds good on stage, sometimes it doesn't. This was a good one. But like I was playing and I was like, something doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. I was like, I think my snare drum is like 0.5 centimeter too low.
Yeah.
I was like, because I was running the sound and setting up the PA, I was like, maybe I didn't have a chance to have a play, but I was like, I was fine. I was like, oh, but it's outside, so it's just, the snare sounds a bit drier than normal. I was like, maybe it's that. And then I was just playing through the first set, and I was just like, oh, I haven't done this set in 6 months. This was like my first decade gig of the year.
Really?
And it's stuff I've done hundreds of times, but it was just that like, and there'd be no need for me to practice, but it was just the muscle memory. I had to rely on that and just be like, oh yeah, I've not done this particular run of songs for quite a while actually.
Yeah.
So it was, and that's what was, I mean, my snare drum was 0.5 centimeter too low, but it was just a bit like, oh shit, yeah, I haven't done this for a while. But It was fine. It was.
I had a similar sort of feeling when I was playing with Decades. I can't remember when, a few weeks ago or something. And it was the first time I'd done it on drums, and pretty much 90% of the songs I'd already played before, apart from I can't remember the name. Somebody once told me the Smash Mouth All Star. Yeah. I completely just didn't think, like, I'd never played that one, and I couldn't remember how it starts, like how the drummer starts it. So I counted it in. I got to tell you this, after patting myself on the back in the first half of the episodes, I'm going to completely discredit how bad this was. So I counted it in, but way too fast because I forgot the tempo.
It was
yeah,
proper fast.
Poor old Archie. So he's like, somebody that bit was fine, but it was a bit fast, like somebody once told me the word. And then it gets to the rap bit. It's like, well, the worst start coming, the start coming. It was fun, and it was just like, and I was playing and I was trying to slow it down a bit, and I was just like looking at Archie going, I am so sorry.
So that song, we do that in freshman year as well. That song is notoriously easy to speed up.
Yeah.
Play it too fast. It really is laid back.
Yeah.
It really is. And I have to consciously think, like, this has to be slower than we all think.
Yeah.
But also everyone else is trying to just go faster. And so there's like a resistance. And I have to say, like, especially with freshman year, like every gig, like All Star, like, it's not that fast.
Yeah.
It's not that fast. Our singer has a tendency to just rush things slightly.
Yeah.
But that one, if it doesn't sit in that groove,
no,
it doesn't sound as good. But also, it's just a bit of a lot of words.
Yeah.
The drum groove, there's like quick kicks, boom, ga, boom, boom, ga, boom.
Yeah.
And if it's too fast, you lose that sort of flow. Right, it's back. Everybody's been waiting. Oh, fucking hell. Literally, right? I'm keeping this in the podcast. Oh, my new Lego has just been dispatched.
Which one this time?
Optimus Prime, baby.
Cool.
Optimus Prime. I just briefly, it came out a week or so ago, and it was like midnight launch. And I was like, this bad boy's going to sell out. So I'm going to get on there at midnight.
Yeah.
Logged on at midnight. Had to wait in a queue on the website. 6 minutes past 12. I got my order in. Turns out it was plenty of stock.
Oh, fair.
it was still available. But yes, anyway, it's back. It's time of the week. Time of the week.
That's a lovely, lovely time.
I know you've been missing time of the week. We haven't done it for a few weeks.
It's been weird. We've actually had, high profile
real
guests.
people to talk to.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll go straight in, mate. I'll say to you, Tom Fletcher.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
And I've even written down a few notes.
Go on.
Right? Because I thought I'd do a bit of research on Mr. Fletcher.
Yeah.
He plays in a band called McFly.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd say that's the most obvious fact.
He's been involved in 10 number one singles.
Yeah.
Bad, is it? Now, I sort of knew a little bit about this, but he auditioned for Busted.
Yeah.
We all know Busted, of course.
He
got in, and then he got dropped and replaced by Charlie.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you know something else he auditioned for?
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Did he?
Yeah. I haven't really watched Star Wars, but the little blonde fella, probably Luke or something.
Oh, no, it'd be Anakin.
Anakin, yeah. He auditioned for that part in whenever they did them. And
well, because he was a bit of an actor, because he played Oliver in the West End at the age of 10.
Christ.
Yeah. He went to school with Matt Willis from Busted.
Yep.
And they were the youngest band to have a debut number one album, beating the record held by a little-known band called The Beatles.
Amazing.
So you can add Tom of the Week to your list of accolades, Mr. Fletcher.
That was a good album, Room on the Third Floor.
Yeah.
Every song. I loved it. Surfer Babe, obviously, etc. Actually, here's a quick drum fact. It's not about Tom Fletcher, but the drummer Harry Judd, which is interesting. So I was listening to when Mike Dolbear interviewed him, and apparently they almost did drum auditions, kind of like an X Factor thing with McFly, and they narrowed it down to 2 drummers, and it was Harry and then some other guy, and the other guy was like, a well-oiled session. He was young, but he was like, he knew his shit. And then Harry was more sort of like, had only really just learnt the drums, but he looked the part more. And they literally said, okay, one of you is going to be a McFly. We'll let you know soon. And then Harry got the job. But it was really interesting because he spoke about he didn't really know how to play the drums that well. And he was whatever age, 16, 17. But then they said, oh, by the way, you're going on a arena tour or whatever. He was like, Jesus. And so him and the bass player, Dougie, had to literally just learn how to play their instruments for this big tour that was going to be their first tour. And I just found that quite interesting, kind of pressure to be like 17, be well exciting, but also
it just once again proves it's not about how well you can play the drums, it's about how good you look.
It's about how sexy you are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is why I haven't got any.
Anyway, drum dumpster before we sing too low.
What the hell is that? You got tossed into the right dumpster.
I'm going to give a shout out to SJC.
Yeah.
Right. The drum company.
What does that stand for? Do we know?
No. But they make custom drums in America.
Yeah.
They posted a picture of a snare drum they made for someone called, actually, Adam Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he used to be endorsed by them.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually played on that SJC kit.
Mm.
Anyway, they make a lot of custom drums for big drummers. I think they're now providing drums for Jay Weinberg and Slipknot.
Oh, wow.
They're doing some big shit.
Yeah.
But they're really into they basically make whatever fucking drum you want. And they made one, and it's Spider-Man themed.
I like it.
It's red, blue, it's got the white spot. I mean, it's just, yes, please, I want one. So on our way to a gig the other week, myself and our good friend Ox, I'd started thinking about, a Marvel themed drum kit. And I have put this on our Twitter. So if you've already seen it on Twitter, thanks for following on Twitter, at Ball Drummers. Anyway, it's got me thinking about a Marvel themed drum kit. And so me and Ox on our journey had a little bit of a think. Right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
This is what I came up with. And I tweeted this to SJC and they liked it. Low kick. Okay?
Yep.
So that's low key. And the
Yep.
kick. I won't explain them all.
Yeah.
Snare Devil.
Yep.
Rack Widow.
Yeah.
Thor Tom.
Cool.
Hulk Crash.
Okay.
Because he says Hulk Smash.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Good.
Deadstool.
Yeah.
Ant Stands. Scarlet Sticks.
Yeah.
And then maybe the slightly dubious one, Hi-Hats in America.
Good.
Okay. So,
Good.
yeah, we'll put a picture of that Spider-Man snare drum on the socials.
So, yeah. Right, okay. Question about the Marvel kit that you're creating. Would each part be related? Would the Hulk Crash be green, for example? Or would it just be the
Well,
names?
I mean, you'd have to probably get Zildjian involved. But Zildjian, if you're up for it, give us a shout.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's team up.
We know you're listening.
The three big players
Yeah.
in custom drums. Let's get SJC, Zildjian, and us. Do you know what I mean? Three absolute players in the game. And let's make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, you'd need to get, some other brands on board, but just sort of, you got to kill the time on those gig journeys.
You do. And if you haven't got an Alf bar, talk about drums.
But yeah, just wanted to, talk about that. But that'll do us, won't it?
That'll do us.
Do us for another week. That was episode 30. If you're new to the show, thanks for joining us. Go back, listen to, there's loads of stuff. If
Pop
not,
around Fat Luke's for a $5.
Yeah, find out about Lumpy. Find out about Fat Luke, yeah? Find out about...
Are you looking at the list of episodes right now?
Yes. Find out about the Wigman of Brighton.
Yeah. God.
But also check out our interviews. Sam Sanders, Josh Rowe, Adam Jackson from Bury Tomorrow. We have Ben Kennedy from Foxes and Ladyhawk. We've had Curtis Aaron, the cruise ship extraordinaire.
Yep.
We've had Steve Loudon, author and drummer from LA. And we've also had Woody from Bastille. So,
yep.
And yeah, we're going to try and line up some more interviews soon. But
we are.
And if you're a continued listener, thank you very much for joining us again. Big love out there.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Well done.
But find us Instagram, Twitter, email us. We're now on YouTube as well. Bosh. You can listen on there if you want as well. But yeah, cool.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.